Duke has been running some of the best half-court actions in the nation this season. In this video, we will break down two of their most lethal actions, post-ups and flare screens. Duke's most successful post-up plays have been ran for Cameron Boozer this season. One of their favorite post-up sets begins with a stagger screen, with Boozer setting the first of two screens. They have a shooter curl the stagger to the block. They then pop the second screener and reverse the ball to him. They then swing the ball one more time to the weak side of the floor and then set a cross screen for Cameron Boozer to get him a deep post catch and an easy layup at the rim. In their same game against Boston College, they run the same exact action later in the game. The stagger, a shooter curling to the block. They reverse the ball, set the cross screen, and get Boozer a deep catch under the basket for a layup. Duke also ran a set that was a counter to this set where it begins the same way with the stagger and the curl to the block. They pass the ball to the second screener as they did before, but then fake the ball reversal and the cross screen and throw it back to the strong side of the floor where Boozer then seals his man on the block and they dive their opposite big to the opposite block and end up getting an easy dump off for a jam. The most simple way that Duke has gotten a post up for Cameron Boozer is just having him set a pin down and then posting him in an isolation setting. Because he's so strong and is able to get to the rim so easily, he's able to create shots for himself and for others. Duke's opening set from their game against Virginia Tech illustrates how important they believe it is to get the ball to Cameron Boozer on the block. Here they hit him in the middle of the floor and then set a back screen for him after he reverses the ball, using one of their shooters to create gravity for him. He then sets a flex screen for another one of Duke's wings, and then they enter the ball to the post through him. He's able to back his man down all the way into the paint, and when Virginia Tech overhelps, Duke gets a wide open look at a three. The second action that Duke has used to dominate teams in the half court is flare screens. The most simple flare screen they set is centering the ball in a 5-out and then setting a flare out of the corner. Duke is so good at slipping flares for dunks and layups at the rim. They ran the exact same action against Boston College where they center the ball in the middle of the floor, set a flare for their best shooter, Isaiah Evans, and then slip that flare to the basket for an easy layup. Duke also runs a counter where it looks like they're running the same flare action, but they attack it differently based on how the defense guards it. So here they set the corner flare for Isaiah Evans. The defense chases over the top, and he continues his cut to the rim for a dunk. This set is one of Duke's all-time favorite sets. They ran it last year with Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel, where they just get into this empty corner flare action. They swing the ball, cut a player through, and then set an empty corner flare screen where they just throw it over the top, and they're looking for either a jump shot off this flare or a drive baseline off the flare. Cameron Boozer is also utilized in these flare actions. Here they set a pin down. Boozer sets it for Isaiah Evans, Duke's best shooter. They don't get it initially. He twists into the flare screen, and because they chase Evans over the top, he back cuts it. They're able to get Boozer in a wide open pop situation where he's then one-on-one to drive baseline, and then Boston College overhelps, sending two to the ball. Duke gets a wide open 45 cut out of the slot. Here they run a similar action again. Boozer sets the pin down for Evans. He then twists into the flare. Evans continues his cut over the top. Virginia Tech doesn't switch, and it's an easy lob for a layup for Duke. Duke even runs flare screens off of baseline out of bounds plays. Here it's a similar concept. Their read is if the defender chases you over the top, you continue your cut to the rim off of the flare screen. They get a catch in the paint here, miss the initial shot, but then finish the second one. Did you like this video? If you did, what other team should we break down? Drop a comment below.